Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing more Golgari. I know I just uploaded it, but I am testing out a lot of different things with it. We're still rocking that 80% win rate. We are now 15-4 with the deck, and we changed a lot of things. Don't you worry. I put the tortoise back in. I got a lot of questions why it wasn't in the deck. I just didn't like it in the previous variation. We're playing it in this variation, and as you could tell, it's gone well. We're 15-4, like I said, in best of one. So it is what it is. I hope you all enjoy the games. We're going to hop right into it. And if you enjoy the content, please be sure to subscribe. I truly appreciate it. And let's just get out there. Opponent goes first. They always go first. Yeah, sure. We'll keep. Orzhov control. Man, am I sick of playing against control yet? I hope not. We'll just play it. Force them to remove it. And hopefully we can kind of stagger in the lands to get the Nissa down. If it's Orzhov, they're going to have like enchantments and stuff like that. Emperor is obviously possible as well. The combat attack that hits automatically. Counter spells aren't going to necessarily be a thing. Did this one or this one? I don't know. Well, I'm actually going to play Preacher. They have less life than us, although they could gain more. Be kind of complicated. Emperor is not there anymore, but go for the third's obviously possible. If we do find another land, then we can play Sentinel, make a map token, sack it, put it on the Dread Knight, and then attack with that. And it'll either be for 4 or we'll draw the 5th land we need to get the Nissa going. And against control decks, Nissa's Planeswalkers are typically just hard to deal with. Move to combat. We found a land. Look at this go. We play around Sunfall. They didn't play another white. No, I think we just hold. There's no point in giving them more value. I would say, because like in theory it could have been a bait anyway. Like play the other swamp. Like lull me into the decision of where like, oh, I don't have it, see? But where they had it kind of the whole time. What do you have? This is a dumb way to use a Go for the Throat, but I'm definitely doing it to counter their virtue. No, it seems like a crazy thing to kind of do. But they're looking to just get really big, so I'm just not going to allow them to. Field of Ruin. Let's attack first. Okay. We have another land, so we know we can play Nissa for big, and we'll play this to make our map token. Sure, they might Sunfall it, but it's a little bit more mana intensive. Sure. One more land. Do we actually just like wait, play this for huge, or do we just get it started now? I kind of like getting it started now. And I'm gonna do it in an awkward way. No, I can't do that. Yeah, because I need one more mana to do it that way. I guess let's just make it complicated. Just play these out. Maybe they have Sunfall. They might have another to populate. Just puts them down to 10. They kind of have to have the answer. It could be Farewell, I guess. Another to populate, sure. A little cycle here. If you find a Shieldred, they have 3 cards, not necessarily good enough. I don't really care about our life total that much in this matchup for right now anyway. Start making tokens. Farewell also does not answer Planeswalkers, so it's a thing we don't have to worry about. But direct, I mean, I get it. Like, you're using that to draw cards, so it's like not the worst. We activate this first. Even though I don't think they would let us get back to our turn necessarily, if that was the case. I'm gonna attack for 4, because if they just have to block, they feel like they need to, which is very possible. There's an Emperor. Sure. Same scenario where I'm probably going to hinder their life total the best I can. Or do I care? Actually, I think I have to keep my card here. I don't think I care that much. They have one pump here. How close am I to doing that? Pretty close. But I get to do this instead. I get to remove this potentially. Their 1 mana is to pump it. And then I can play Shieldred and have them sack their Emperor. And we're filling up their graveyard rather fast now. I might as well activate this and put a counter here. Oh, sweet. All right, opponent. You're up. We're enjoying it. I hope you're having fun. Give our Trespasser a fine enough card. You do have Menace. They'll gain 1 life. Evolve Sleeper. Okay. You have something else. I'm not sold that you do. I'm also not that afraid whether you would or not. Can move to combat first, I guess. I guess like we'll plus first. Now we'll move to combat. Back. Might have something. No block at all. Play around Farewell or to not. Yeah, I'm gonna play Shielder and I'm gonna set him to 2, I guess. No block. Like, I mean, I feel like you still just throw the sleeper in front of the 5/5. You just give yourself like a 9 life cushion. Now we play Shieldred, you go to 7. It's like not even that bad. I suppose. Oh, nice. All right, we'll play our cottage, not our fortress. I saw the white land and I was like, yeah, I'll play my Restless Fortress. Wrong deck. Are we just gonna get blown out here? It feels like it. We did find a land and have all these come in untapped, so it's like fine as long as an Adeline doesn't come in here. Who would have thought? I mean, yeah, Adeline's just not gonna get removed by this. And we can play a Glissa and hope it's enough. Maybe it'll get hit with a Get Lost, which does suck. Does suck big time. But realistically, if they attack, we'll block Adeline preferably. Here it comes. Yeah, we'll Get Lost. Oh, Callan. Okay. No attack. Like on one hand, I could play a Shieldred and make it very complicated and then have like double removal. Because I don't know if they ever get in a spot where they can attack here. But I also could just do the same thing here. Unless they play other Thalia. That's the only card I'm like kind of worried about. I guess I just hold. I think holding up double removal. This is a little bit awkward. It's kind of why I don't like playing Shieldred's Edict. I mean, Adeline's not able to be played anymore. So we can get it out of the way. And then I guess sacrifice a non-token creature. I would assume it's the veteran. They can just replay the veteran here, but kind of need them to do something. Yeah. I'm not that upset about it. We draw the planes. Not necessarily what we want. This might also be like a little more confusing for them. Let's just play the biggest problem. Make them sacrifice a creature, even though it's got to be a non-token creature. Do I attack and I start like kind of drawing cards, I guess? I'm gonna need to get out of this, I think. Remove 3 counters. Nothing has a counter, so we'll draw and lose a life here. We draw another land. Now we can play Shieldred and play a Mosswood here. They have Indestructible online. I would imagine they let this go. Maybe they have other Nganjo in hand. But definitely going to let that go with another one in hand. They have 4 cards. NT. Okay. Alright, so we'll play land. Here, here, and here. And here. We'll play Shieldred. Kind of wanting to prevent them from drawing cards. And then Glissa will attack here. Of course, we'll get a block. Didn't gain all the life they want. We're definitely in the pits of grinding right now. In the pits. I'll take 2. Shieldred doing his job. And now if they want to attack with NT and have that trigger, like, we still get 2 life. And that's a good value play for them. Is that Cavern? What is that? Oh, it is Cavern. Whew. Those arts, a lot of them look exactly the same. They have an indestructible land held up. I mean, same boat, I think. How many cards I got? Got 4 in there. I guess we can just always use a card from our graveyard, right? Bring this up. Attack and attack. I don't think they have anything to bring back, so we're gonna eat one of our own cards. The reason why is because we have this Shieldred and we want it to potentially be active. Okay. Is that really what you want to do? All right. Thalia we need to be removed. It'll remove one or the other. It doesn't really matter. One of them will be removed. Yeah, and NT's gonna stay. Thalia hits. We'll lose our land, which is fine. Nothing in terms of counters are available. I guess this has a counter on it. But we're gonna definitely draw here. Definitely gonna flood here, I suppose. Yeah, it's fine. Get Thalia off the board for whenever we potentially find removal here in the future. We have a little bit of life to gain here. I tried to end turn, but I put stops everywhere, so it's fine. NT's going, they're gonna double attack. Okay. I don't know what that means. Sure. We have like a solid attack coming back. Although we do have to, yeah, I was gonna say, we have like a really good attack coming on the back end. I'm surprised they didn't just attack with like the 1/1 or just a 2/2 to hit me for 3 and try to work down my life total. But sure. Oh boy. A lot of lands, and we are first. So I'm not like that opposed to this hand. It could be bad in general, but we're gonna try. Everything about our opponent screams mono blue, and that is upsetting for sure. Land. Oh! Yo. That's really funny. Like, I still wanted to take the damage. I would assume this is cut down is why, but we ain't getting this cut down, big dog. He's a beefy in. Ah, gumdrop. Okay, that makes sense. Gumdrop. Boom. Go for the throat. A lot of text. I have a lot of text. I would agree. You have removal. A lot of these decks rely on like the gumdrop to do it. Are we in the I'm gonna play cards at random catalog now? I mean, it's like fine. I just haven't seen Riveteer's Charm in like 14 years, I think. Do this, make it about as big as possible. Go for the third on top is fine. Obviously, I could bend it, but if I bend it into another... if I throw this away and draw another land, I'm not having a good time. This is not an artifact. This is also not an artifact. I mean, they know about to go for the throat, but let's see if they make a mistake. Yeah, I didn't figure. I was just like, I was allowing them to do so. It's sometimes what you gotta do. This is obviously a problem. It's gaining life, but I also could play the Shieldred. But I can do that like a little bit later here. I mean, I guess we just wait. Pass. They know about one go for the throat, but we're not gonna let them get to combat with this Sentinel. Like, this could be Shieldred here, I guess. Blood type Harvester, kind of annoying. Not like the worst thing in the world. This just gunned. Where did the anvil come from? I mean, sure, I guess. Anvil is quite annoying, but I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world for us. The land. Just in case we draw something that may be a little bit more important, a little bit more priority. Field of Ruin. Let's attack. Yeah, that makes sense. Shield and Shieldred. And they have to sacrifice the Blood type Harvester here. Yep. Okay. So their plan, and so this card in their hand must be dead, and they must think it's dead in this matchup. Their plan there with the Blood type Harvester was to, I would assume they're hoping to draw a land, and their plan is to sack the Blood type Harvester, targeting this, making it -2/-2, gain 3 life, and then play the Gumdrop Poisoner, giving this an additional -3 and -3. To get our last creature off the board, and just hope that was probably enough and outvalue me with the anvil. But this Shielder taking out this means they have like no real definitive way to deal with either of these, I guess, with what's in their hand. And then we even have like the Field of Ruin to pop their Restless Fortress eventually, and then we have our own along with one on backup, but they don't know about this, so it's hard to like talk about this. Okay, sweet. Oh, we go first. I mean, yeah, this is fine. We can play Cottage early. We can play the Waste, take one to draw a card depending on the matchup, or even Path of Peril here. But with it being mono red and no Kamano LED on one, ooh. I'm actually playing a creature first. I know I could cut down this, but if their plan is just like creature, then I could Path to Peril and then maybe block with the Dread Knight. Who knows? Oh, you one lander? Better. I would like for you to deal with this guy. Can I attack? Is it like on one land? Honestly, if you want to trade, you can trade. I don't care. It's up to you. That hits. Will you find another land? No? I don't think they... If it's mono red, they're slamming the land here and they're turboing me. But the Preacher is really solid and really nice. Also, Path to Peril is actually fine here, which is kind of funny. Have a cut down, so I guess a double attack here. Because if they do some crazy block, then I'm feeling pretty fine about it. Okay, sweet. On this, just get that out of the way, I suppose, and then just hold it go for the throat for the Swiss Spear. I don't know. I'm kind of just playing my spells at random at this point. I just say I don't think they have a chance right now But the worst part is, if they find another land, this game is probably significantly different. Just not keepable. We keep this. And it's shielded, I guess. Decklist. Play this because we don't want to take any more damage in case it's an aggro. But why would it be aggro? We always have to go for the threat in hand whenever we're against control. Right? Control, right? Could be aggro, but it's not. Oh, we just talked about how we lose to control decks. Yeah, I'm gonna play Tortoise and try to find a manland. Hey, I mean, found him pretty quick. Also, Tortoise demands like less attention than the shielded, I think, overall. That's fine. Combat. Attack. You can Emperor this if you'd like. Won't be mad at you. We'll get the Glade. Obviously, diversifying our mana the most here makes most sense to me. They didn't cycle there. They just gained the life, so that tells me their hand's probably pretty good. So let's cycle here. And then I guess I'll just play it. And we'll probably lose our cards to Sunfall, but I'm not that opposed, I guess. Right back to daytime for them. We loot now. They do loot now. I don't think they looted the first time, but that could have also been an accident. Yeah, the mill deck is going to be pretty tough for us as well. There you go for the throat. Would you like to be able to remove that? No? Okay. So my whole deck, pretty much. Swinging one Tortoise pretty much almost makes us lose to a Jace. Would have thought. Sure. My turn. That doesn't count as a cast, so they just get to freely cycle again. Populate is gone. That's absurd. That means big bad sign for us. Oh, easier to populate. What land would I like to grab? I mean, other fortress, I guess. A 1-mana March, probably, if I had to guess. Sure. But the highest chance of winning on the stack. Force him to remove this. I mean, his Jace doesn't technically kill us. I guess it kind of does because I can't attack with the Tortoise. They do nothing. You discarded it to populate, no? Am I crazy? No, they definitely did. We just hold up a go for the throat, I guess. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, and we have. Her. Now we move to combat. Now we just lose to Jace, of course. Double target, I guess. Five, 6, 7, 8. We go first. This hand's not bad. I like this hand. We will play the Glade first. Just so we can play Field Ruin and not have to take damage for either Virtuing or playing the Edict. Or actually, I guess I don't know what Gandalf that is. I think about it, but land pass. This is going to be a tough match for the home team on their side, I would have to imagine. Yeah, so we'll play land, and I'm so dumb, bro. I guess, like, it's not that bad because, like, Liliana can come in and make them sacrifice his virtue. That's what I meant to do the whole time, brother. Relax, okay? You're all, like, freaking out and stuff, and I'm just trying to have a good time. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. You think they went for Monster Mash and couldn't get it? Sure. I mean, we have like 43 drops in the deck. We will find one, right? Right, team? Always red. No Kamana is actually good for us here, though. Play Fortress. We'll play land. We'll try to Virtue it. Hope to find... I think Breacher might be best. Wax, okay. I keep thinking Virtue gains 3 life, by the way. I guess we just take it out. Just hope it's like not a squee here, I guess. Then we just slam a Shieldred. You have something else? I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Godric's bad, but it's like not the worst, you know? Like, I've seen worse, you know? We'll wait. We want to remove this in combat or whenever they put something else on the stack so they can't just follow it up with a second copy of Godric. Although, now they can follow it up with a second copy of Godric. Sacrifice a non-token creature. It's that one. Have it? Oh, just play with fire. Okay. I mean, it sucks, but like... No, not that bad. All right. Hear me out, team. All right. We're dodging and we're weaving right now. We're going to pass. We're going to tear asunder their 4-drop. So you have nothing else to play, right? One mana. Play with fire. So this looks really dumb, but we're gonna do it this way. There's a reason for that. Because we get to play Shieldred this turn and hold up the cut down, which realistically we could just do now, I guess, but I think it's fine to wait. Terra Sunder also seems like a very like tough play for them. I mean, we're gonna go for it. Got it. Have a Shelly. Sorry, Monster Mash. Meteor Mash. Mash of meteors. But sometimes that's just way to be. That's just the way it be. Let's talk about the deck after I give this brief little information. We are still pretty much, it's 79%, but I'm gonna round to 80%. So we're pretty much at an 80% win rate at 15-4. So we are pretty much crushing with the deck right now. I think one of the matchups I lost, I don't even remember the matchup, I'm gonna be honest with you, but we were probably supposed to lose more in the first video, but however now we actually kind of changed some stuff around and I'm liking the list more. I think the Sentinel of the Nameless City is very nice, and I also like playing the Tortoise in this variation of the list because we went back to playing a little bit more of the top end stuff. to be a little bit more scrappy. Well, one card that I am struggling to cut at any given point is the Liliana Veil. I don't know if it's just me or like I'm just so happy I can play it and it's not like the worst card in the world. But I do think in a lot of matchups it gives us a lot of variation in terms of allowing us to remove our opponent's creatures whenever they're trying to protect it. I had actually ran into a lot of Rot Priest as of late, and they always have the protection spell in terms of like giving it hexproof or something like that. So like these removal spells, I guess Golgari an exception to that. But these removal spells were always kind of tough in that spot, or also like you saw a couple of times our opponent played Virtuoso. If they get to untap and hold up the protection spells, it's very hard for us to get it off the board without using a Shieldred's Edict, which we play a one of, and then Liliana can kind of help fill that role there, along with also being a plus in making our opponent discard cards. And with the Tortoise in our hand, or like the Sentinel of the Nameless City, I think works actually really well with Liliana. Because if you activate a map token and it's a land and you put it in your hand, you can then proceed to activate your Liliana the Veil and discard that land if you have more important cards in your hand that you don't quite want to play before combat, or you don't have the mana to do so, or something like that. Like if you play Sentinel and then activate the thing for your 4th land drop, because if you play Liliana first, you can then do all that. And if you find another mana, you're fine, because in the next coming turns, you can get the Tortoise down, or play a Shieldred, play a bigger Shieldred, maybe play a Nissa, get closer to this Virtue. But unsure, really. Outside of that, we can just kind of go card by card. This is the removal suite along with the Virtues. Realistically, Virtue sits in this category. Sometimes we'll play it on the top end, but it's very seldomly that we do so. Seldomly meaning not very often. But outside of that, we have like 1-2 spot drop card. It is a draw and / a creature, a reoccurring threat that we love to play. Graveyard Trespasser, I think we just have to keep in the deck. I have a hard time cutting this card. Realistically, these 2 cards are the ones I have the hardest time cutting. Glissa, most likely, I will probably keep at a 3 of at all times, just because I think Dinos has a really hard time beating this card on its own. In the mirror, it's also really, really strong, because if they don't have the removal for it, you just never have the creatures to fight back against this, and then they're drawing more cards than you, and if they have a Lily in play, or you have a Lily, but they're drawing cards, it doesn't feel great. Also, Glissa can remove counters from permanents. That includes Planeswalkers. So it's very, very nice to have, and you just need it to hit your opponent, which works really well with Sentinel here. If you don't know quite what I'm referring to in terms of it playing well with that, if your opponent plays the Jace and say they plus and they target your Glissa, which happens quite often, if you do get that 4th mana and you play this Sentinel and you make the map token, or you do it in vice versa order, but like this would had to have been removed at some point probably, but say you do it in reverse order, you can actually plus or like sack the map token and target Glissa, and if a Glissa gets a counter, it'll actually go and be a 1/4, and it can hit your opponent and remove 3 counters off that Jace and maybe kill it or get it down to 1 loyalty, and then they don't really have a whole lot of flexibility with the card in that spot. But Preacher is our other 3-drop that we are playing. This card is kind of just another variation of Glissa. It has that Death Touch. It has 4 toughness, which makes it hard for mono red to remove and those type of decks to remove. Soldiers has a hard time kind of punching this card out of the way, because a lot of times their damage will be at 3 on most creatures, even like Thalia. So this can put in a lot of work in terms of blocking. And then we have the one of Path Apparel. I did try something really spicy today, because we went back to playing the Tortoise, and I was just hoping it would work out and never punish me, because, you know, why not? We are on Field of Ruin to basically get rid of like the control matchups, Manland, or other things like Mythics that are hard for us to deal with if we're kind of lacking in the cards department. If we got the Liliana online, well, let's Field of Ruin it. Plus, if you're playing against like those greedy 5-color or soldier decks that are wanting to play caverns and all that, and they're just like lacking on the basics, you can kind of start Field of Ruin, Blossoming Tortoise, cycling them in terms of like sack the Field Ruin, blow up their land, we go grab a basic, we attack with the Tortoise or play a Tortoise even, and put the Field of Ruin back into play and constantly cycle it out. So if you ever get the Field of Ruin, check somebody and it works, then the Tortoise kind of wasteland plan is online. But we put 1 Plains in the deck instead of playing the Celestis, because we're so heavy on the 3-drop spot anyway, and I think Celestis is nice. I just think a lot of times we're wanting to hold up a counterspell, or we're already tapping out for a card that can draw us cards anyway, in terms of like, we want to get this online on 3 if we can. Same with the Preacher, especially if we're on to play. Same with Glissa. I think we have too many 3-drops right now to slot the Celestis in, but I definitely don't fault anybody for playing it instead of playing this Plains. I did not have this Plains hinder me at all, and we played a lot of games today. I mean, we're 15-4, and I did not have this one of Plains cost me any scenario in which I couldn't cast a spell. Will it ever not cost me? Eventually it's going to. Eventually, one time in a weird scenario, I'm going to draw the Plains off the top and not have the double black for Liliana or something, or the double green for the Tortoise, because it's just like basic Swamp, Decklist, Field of Ruin, draw the Plains. Sometimes it happens. It will happen eventually. I just didn't have it happen today, and if it happens 1 out of every 100 games in best of 1, great. I think it's fine to do. For me, at least, to make sure I can kick this if I want to, or cleave it, I guess. Instead of sliding in a Celestis, just trim out like one of my other basics to play this. So that was what I was doing. Also, the Tortoise can get it out of the graveyard, so it's like fine. But other than that, it's kind of all I got for it today. I did slot the big Shieldred back in just because I think it is so valuable with how many control decks are around. Being able to play this and take out their Planeswalker when they don't really want you to, or like they get your creature off the board and they think they're good, and then you play the Shieldred and you get their Planeswalker anyway. And if they don't remove it and you fill up their graveyard in time, the discard 3 is so hard to deal with a lot of times. And then the creatures, bringing back all of our value creatures. We don't have a whole lot of legendary ones. In fact, of legendary creatures, only Shieldred, Glissa, and this other Shieldred are legendary. The rest are all non-legendary, so like the actual bottom part of this Shieldred is really relevant. But that's all I got. I hope you all enjoyed, and have a fantastic day, night, or morning wherever you are, and I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.